What is good, Fin Nation? What's good? It's your boy Reason, and your Miami Dolphins are 7-3 and tightening their grip on the AFC East. I mean, we basically, I hope the Jets and the Bills find a way to be the first game where both teams lose. But we've got the Bills imploding. We've got the Patriots imploding. We've got the Jets just trying to keep their head above water long enough to make it even desirable for Aaron Rodgers to come back potentially later this season. And these Dolphins are just, hey, it wasn't pretty, but a dub is a dub. A dub is a dub. That's all I'm here for. We're here to watch this team win. It wasn't pretty. File it under that. Hey, for all of you who thought they would underestimate the Dolphins, well, you didn't get your full wish, but you got a part of your wish where a lot of people, including myself, expected us to handle this team pretty easily. And hey, because of their own, again, second game in a row, we can also say where this offense was continuously getting in the way of itself. That's also a fact here too. So listen, I'm putting the link in the chat right now for all of you to come up here. We've already got people starting to come backstage. But before we get to everyone there, I'm going to get to all of you right now. But before we do, let's at least look over what we got with the final stat line here and the box score and with the team stats for all of you who are maybe tuning in after the game, because hey, you may not watch the live reactions because you may be one of those people who just wants to be in your zone doing your thing. So the Dolphins, they had 21 first downs to the Raiders 12. The Dolphins were 3 for 11 on third down. The Raiders were 4 for 14. We only ran 9 more plays, and we had by the end of it, I mean, we were at well over 300, and they're at like 160 for a while there, but they finished with 196 to our 422, 14 drives for the Dolphins to 13 for the Raiders. And we almost had 100 yards rushing, but both teams had 5 penalties, and the Dolphins won the time of possession. But the big thing was, you had the fumble by Julian Hill. You had the fumble by Tua Tagovailoa. You had the interception from Tua Tagovailoa. This team they left points on the field once more. It's the same thing. So Aiden O'Connell, he was 24 of 41 for 271, 1 touchdown, 3 picks. Tua was 28 of 39 for 2 touchdowns and 1 pick. Josh Jacobs, 14 carries, 39 yards. Mostert, 22 carries, 86 yards. Devontae Adams, 7 receptions, 82 yards, and a touchdown. Tyreek Hill, 10 receptions, 146 yards, a touchdown as well. Jalen Ramsey had 2 picks, had the game-sealing pick. Bradley Chubb and Jalen Phillips were both unreal today. Jalen Phillips had they ended up crediting him with 2 sacks at the end of it. They were both phenomenal today. That edge tandem looks so good today. Hey, man, say what you want, say what you will, but this guy looks like Jalen Ramsey right now. I mean, what are people going to say? Bland, because he has like 6 pick six. He have 4 pick sixes this season. Maybe people will say Bland is the best corner this year for now, but man, he only been back for 3 games, and in those 3 games, Jalen Ramsey the best corner in football right now. I mean, they didn't even want to target him in the first half. Then they started targeting him in the second half, and everything fell apart for Aiden O'Connell. Oh, it's beautiful stuff, man. That is a game changer. That is an impact player. And his name ain't Lance Storm or just incredible. But he is incredible to watch. So, and I'm going to say it, even though the special teams, it got its bearing at the end there, I would fire Danny Crossman and retool that whole special teams unit. That's just me. I don't know how this guy stuck around. I mean, him and Boyer survived the Flores purge, and since Danny, he's not good at his job. Let's just say that. So anyways, let's get up. We got about 5 of you backstage right now. Listen, If you want to come up and chat, just follow the link in the chat. Use that StreamYard link in the chat. This is for you guys to come up here and voice your opinions. Let it be known. Let's have some good conversation and all that kind of stuff. So let's start bringing people up here right now. So we have Z-Man. We have Hooked Up Joe. And Joe, don't worry. You don't have to worry about the host attacking you on this show or not letting you speak your piece, my friend. So you're good here. It's a safe space. Bari, you're up. Todd and for life.
What's up, Reason?
What's going on, Bari? So let's start off. We'll go to Z-Man. Let's get and we got Daryl Wallace here. Z-Man, let's start off with you. Let's get your opening thoughts, your takeaways from today's win.
Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon. Just another one of those Dolphins just go out there and have all these yards and, not score as many touchdowns as they're supposed to. It's just one of those games. A lot of the stuff that over the last few weeks has been self-inflicting wounds that caused us to really stop us from getting as many points as we could. Mm-hmm. I think they just need to get back to the basics, ball security. When you're in the open field, if you got to run with two hands on the football, do it, man. I mean, it's shit like that that's going to stop us from really getting to where we want to go. I know I don't know if you're watching the game right now, but the Bills got a big hit on the kickoff, got in the red zone, they still didn't score. Like, that defense is tough now, so they got to get right. But overall, I don't really think the Jets are going to pose relatively too much problem to us overall. But this game is just one of those games, man. We just got to be better overall. The defense looked great. Over the last couple of weeks, the defense has been picking up where we wanted them to be at the beginning of the season. It just took a little minute for them to really gel. Mm-hmm. But I think the offense is going to get right. I think they're going to get back to how they're supposed to be. Like last year, if we had a game like this, we probably wouldn't have won. So I think that's a improvement if you want to think of it like that, at least, right?
You ain't wrong. EM, let's get your thoughts, man. What are your takeaways coming off that game?
Man, what's good, Reason? Salute to the panel. Salute to everybody, man. A little bittersweet for me, bro, to be honest with you. Like, I expected more from the offense today. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but first off, I want to preface everything with a win is a win. I'm going to take it all day, every day, right? But with that being said, in this game, at least offensively, a lot of things that are coming on film, bro. These trends have been established, going, about 3 to 4 weeks. It started about 3 to 4 weeks ago. And you're starting to see, and for me personally, and again, I'm not trying to speak for anybody else, but me personally, there's some things that are just starting to be a concern, right? Playing down to the level of competition, self-inflicted wounds, spotty and inconsistent play calling, etc. And these, unfortunately, we're starting to see trends here. And I think it's, we should all take responsibility and try to, kind of publicly document a lot of what we're seeing, inconsistencies that we're seeing. And, but at the end of the day, man, it's, like I said, it's a little bittersweet. A win is a win, but, they have to get it together, man. They got to clean up a lot of the mistakes, a lot of, decision making. They got to clean up a lot. There's a lot of work that needs to be done before we really start to really push for this. I know we're in the second half of the season and we're starting to push for the playoffs, but as we get further into the season and we play better competition, see, these type of self-inflictions and inconsistencies are the reason why we can't beat top tier teams, right? This is not championship level play. And again, it's just not personnel. It's play calling as well. These are not actions. These are not, this is not film, what they've been putting on. This is not a reflection of a championship level team. And again, I know you have to grow and you got to learn how to be a championship level caliber team. I understand that. But at the end of the day, based off the talent level, based off, the coaching staff that we have in place, I just expect more. And it's just, listen, teams, those other 31 other teams, bro, they're in the NFL for a reason, right? These are some of the smartest, brightest defensive minds in the world, right? And week to week, teams start to figure out the more tape you put out there, and they start to come up with more creative ways to kind of disrupt, your application offensively. And to a big degree, and again, I'm not here to say we need to start hitting the panic button. No. But at the end of the day, man, I think Mike McDaniel, again, and the offense in general, they got a lot of work to do. But kudos, shout out to the defense, bro. Shout out to Jalen Ramsey. Again, we talked about this the other day, Reason. What's encouraging is while we're working through the second half of the season and trying to figure out the inconsistencies to get back to the level of play offensively that we're all accustomed to seeing, well, look at the elevation, look at the ascension of the defense, right? They seem to be hitting their strides right now. So that's very encouraging for me moving forward. So with that being said, man, it's a little bittersweet, bro, but a win is a win at the end of the day.
I'm going to ask a question after we go through some thoughts, because you brought something up that I want to expand on, but I'll just go through people's opening thoughts here. Hooked Up Joe, what are your thoughts on takeaways from that win?
Well, I think our defense showed that we are serious. Our defense just showed up. I mean, where our defense has been getting better if our defense stays doing what it does, we're unbeatable. I mean, we can just slam out some points when we need to. I know we look like crap today and we were off, but man, Ramsey, he comes in like a flash. He's not there and he's there. I mean, you're trying to film him. He's got to be a blur on the film. He just comes in, he's gone. He flashes in. He's freaking amazing. So I know, it was a tough win, but I think the Broncos and the Bills game kind of shows us that sometimes a tough win is going to translate better into future wins than a blowout may. We're going to go into the next week with the Jets feeling like we lost. So we kind of get the benefit of the learning experience of a loss with the record of a win. Me being Mr. Positive over here. And that's about it. Oh, punt the punter. Okay.
Yeah, for real. Like, I know people are going to be shady with Matt Ariza's background and stuff, but he got cleared, and at this point I'd be working him out. And man, I don't know why you let Thomas Morstead go for this guy. That's all I got to say too. Anthony, what's going on, buddy?
Hey man, I apologize if my audio is not the greatest, but hope everyone's doing well. I think with this game, there was just a lot of like hype and build up because, we had a week off. Achane was coming back. Everyone's kind of healthier. You're playing at home. And it was kind of anticlimactic. At the end of the day, a win's a win. And I think there's something to be said about how would you feel, myself included, if we won, but in a different style game where the defense didn't show up and it's kind of like the Chargers game where it's a shootout and we still win. But, so a win's a win. It's just an ugly win. But you have to have those in the NFL. The thing that's just concerning for me is I know myself, I can't speak for other people, but I think Reason you're kind of the same is we all kind of wonder what this team is going to look like on the road. Is it you struggle on the road or you struggle against good teams? But we all kind of could sit back on the thought that, hey, worst case scenario, like let's just get a home playoff game. Let's just play at home because we're a different team. And to see a struggle like that at home was, we
looked like the road team at home. We looked like the road team at home.
And I don't know, again, I'm not claiming to be some football. I don't know as much of football as you, so you'd be able to speak on this more. But two things. One, I'd have to really dive into the all 22, but the offense just looks not less creative, but I don't know. It's kind of like the juice isn't there. Like McDaniel's play calling. I know he gets cute at times, but I'm just talking about the regular, like the 80%.
I saw that he had that one interesting play where he motion angled into the backfield into like a split gun. Then he motion angled out of it. Then he motion Mostert into the backfield on the same play. I was like, whoa, I hadn't seen that yet. Or he motioned him to the line of scrimmage. He motioned Mostert to the line of scrimmage or something. I was like, whoa, I hadn't seen that yet.
Right.
But yeah, it looks anemic I said it today. It looks anemic at times.
Yeah. And my other thing, and again, I don't really know, and this is more of a question that Reason you can answer after people talk. But like with someone like Tua, who just has such incredible anticipation and timing, my wife actually brought this up, which is ironic enough because she doesn't really know that much about football. But she was like, I wonder if the bye week for people like him is actually worse because he gets out of that rhythm. Because at times it just seemed like some of his passes were just there's just a little bit off. He didn't play
even
bad
early
at all.
on, like even the Tyreek throw was high. Like
But
his throws early on were high. They were in range to catch, but his throws were high early
But
on.
you know what? Listen, I would be more inclined to agree with you if we hadn't seen this level of inconsistency. We've seen it again. That's why I highlighted trends, right? This is what we're consistently seeing
but
here.
He was way sharper in the first half against KC. Just players around him let him down.
Right,
than he was today.
Yeah. I would agree with that.
Yeah. But anyway, again, a win is a win.
My thing is, I said today during the live stream, the rust thing goes out the window after the first half for me. You've have to adjust to the game speed. You've have to get your feet under you. That's both defense and offense. I look at it that way. So I don't play rust into third quarter and fourth quarter. You know what I mean? Like
And Dan, I'm sorry. Go ahead. My bad.
No. I'm just going to close out here. Like a win is a win. At the end of the day, however you win the next 5 games, like just win the next 5. Hope that Buffalo can lose against the Eagles and Chiefs, which I think is very likely. And then just try to get better. Again, I'm not going to, just because McDaniel and Tua had one bad day, like I trust these guys and I trust them to fix the issues if they have them. It's just, noting that today's performance, even with the defense, it's not going to do against the Jets. I mean, they have a really good defense. So you got to, at some point, you have to step up your game. It doesn't mean you have to be on it all the time, but you have to take those opportunities, the interceptions, the fumbles. You have to make the most of those, and you can't just go out there and put a flop. But anyway, a win's a win, and thanks for letting me talk.
No worries. Ian, I'll let you get your thought out. But first, Amber, we need to get Waddle going when Hill is in the game. Hill leaves, Waddle eats. We need them both to get going. It can't be Reek only. Facts.
I would agree 100%, bro. Like, it just had, and we can even go back to last year, man, and we talked about this, I don't know how many times, Reason. Like, at times, more often than it should be, this offense seems to be too dependent on Tyreek Hill. Right. And again, that's a double-edged sword for a quarterback because with Tua being in his 4th year, I mean, I know a lot of people forget about this, just his 4th year. So he's still developed, right? He's still developing. So when you have one guy and you're drilled, like from a practice standpoint, you're going over and you're highlighting 80% of the time, you're highlighting one guy. Well, again, like I said, that's a double-edged sword because, you got a dynamic guy and you're making plays with him. But what happens when teams take him away and scheme him out of the equation? Well, that quarterback, their muscle memory is they're trained to look at this guy and highlight this guy. Well, that can be somewhat problematic at times for Tua and any developmental guy. It's teaching them to. And again, I don't want to put the one read narrative. I don't agree with the one read narrative, but it can be problematic for a quarterback.
Can't always be the first read, is what.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
So again, diversity should be the approach for Mike. That 2,000 yards bullshit. Pardon my language, Reason.
He didn't like it from the get-go.
That made me fucking cringe going back to last year. I was like, bro, because again, to highlight a guy and exert, that much of the snap count and the play process, right? And to one guy, that's cute in a regular season, but that shit don't fly come postseason. So again, diversity should be the approach, should be that the diversity, run game, spreading the ball around in the passing tree to other guys when open, i.e. River Craycraft was open on that play. Today we saw him a touchdown. That was a touchdown. That was left on the board.
Yeah.
So again, we might not see.
I know why Tua didn't make that because of the way he was flushed out, and I know.
And I get it, and I'm not too critical of Tua in that instance. But we've seen situations where Tua has left plays on the field. Again, that's what the film says, not me. So with that being said, again, going back to last year, the conversation that we've had privately. I've said this publicly. Diversity should be the approach to Mike McDaniel, and it just seems like, he gets caught. And again, I get it. Tyreek is the most dynamic weapon in the entire league. I get it. But you got to look at this from a macro perspective, and you got to find a common ground to where, yeah, you're utilizing Tyreek Hill, you're maximizing him, but it's not coming at the detriment of the overall flow in the process of the offense in terms of like getting other people involved. Because you got to be in a position where you're forcing the defense to defend every blade of grass, not just one.
Yeah. And I mean, look at these defenses have obviously honed in on the keys on our bubbles. Like these bubbles have been getting blown up for weeks now, where they're just not, defenses are just not biting it. We had that one to Jalen Waddle, but the Tyreek bubbles are getting, they're reading it. Like,
yeah. And again, that's a perfect illustration of when you're putting film out there, you have to adjust to how defenses. People are not scheming you the same way in week 1 that they are in week 10.
Yeah.
Where's the evolution? Where is the counter? Where is the curveball that Mike McDaniel has for the opposition? Yeah. It's not consistent enough, bro. And again, I'm not at practice every day. I'm not in those meetings. I don't know what they're discussing, but I think you don't have to be the sharpest football mind, most detailed football individual to watch a game, watch all 22 and figure out, okay, well, there's some, I don't want to say regression, but there's some stagnation here that we're seeing. And there's and again, this is going back 2, 3, 4, 5 games where you're not seeing enough of a counter. And again, you have that genius label. Fuck, bro. Come on, you got to show me something. You got to get this corrected before we get to the postseason.
We thought you were going to be ready for it because we thought you were going to be ready for it because we knew this would happen. Everyone and their mother knew that. What you said, they don't scheme for you in week 1 the same. We knew that NFL teams would start to adjust. That's why we were so blown away by the initial look of the offense. Remember, we'd have this private conversation all the time, EM, where we'd say, imagine what the counter is going to look like if this is what the initial offense is.
Absolutely.
And we haven't seen it yet.
Absolutely. There needs to, listen, man. I love this team. I love everything about this team. But at the end of the day, bro, you have to show us, and not just me, but us as fans, bro. Listen, we all have immense expectations to this team based off the personnel, based off the coaching staff that is currently, as this organization is currently constructed. Bro, you can't be, we need to figure out what the issue is, and we need to, figure out what the counters are and whatnot and get more consistent, because if we start to see, we can get to the playoffs and I don't care if we get the 2nd seed, if we get the 4th seed, if we get the number 1 seed, if you put this level of inconsistency on tape, whether we at home or on the road, right? Mm-hmm. We are not going to achieve the level of success that we all hope and believe based off the talent level and coaching staff that we have in place, that we won't meet expectations this year. It's not going to happen.
D Hugga, you're up. Let's get your thoughts, and then we'll go to Bari and Fin Fan for Life and Todd, and then I'll get into asking you guys some questions here. And Darth Logan says Waddle was eating with Tyreek out. They got to figure it out both on the field. Happy about the win. Defense won, which was nice. Daryl, you're up, buddy.
Hey, what's up? Reason? I appreciate you having me on, man. And it's also good to hear some familiar faces, give their thoughts on the game. But
hey, salute to you, Daryl. Always respect, homie.
Absolutely, yes, sir. And like everybody else, I'm happy that we were able to get the W, especially after we suffered a heartbreak against the Chiefs. And although ugly wins still count as wins, for me, I don't think the Dolphins can afford to have the offense start regressing, especially with the way that the defense has come alive. You hope guys were trying to get back into the swing of things with the bye week, but at the same time, we're not that far from the season ending, and we can't keep seeing avoidable mishaps continue to occur, especially when it comes down to a situation where you're leaving points out on the field. I mean, this is the 2nd game in a row. We're seeing guys drop catchable passes. You see guys fumbling, guys, excuse me, you have guys not communicating properly, so routes are being ran wrong. And then you have moments like Mike McDaniel not running the ball on 3rd and 1 or 4th and 1. And then you also have dangerous passes being thrown when you have wide open guys. And then when you do trust Jason Sanders, here we are. We have a missed field goal. So, as much as I like Mike McDaniel, the one thing that a lot of us were critical about with the defense was do your thing so that the offense can get back on the field. This is the second game in the row. The defense has done what they've been asked to do, and you haven't always capitalized. So, as much as I love Mike McDaniel, I need to see a better performance out of him as a coach this next game and the games afterwards. Because when you're trying to make the strides that we're trying to make, these type of mishaps can ruin your chances at being able to make a deep playoff run or establish ground when the playoffs arrive in the first place. But that's really all I got, man. It's good. Like I said, it's good to be able to hear everybody, and God bless y'all.
Darth Logan says hashtag fire Sanders. Bari, did I ask you for your thoughts already? I don't remember.
No, you can hear me?
Yeah, go ahead. You're up, then Fin fan for life, and then Todd. Go ahead.
Yeah, man. Salute to everybody. Yeah, man. Basically, me and EM on the same wavelength, especially on this offense, man. We like in certain moments, man, we get too cute. I heard you bring up a stat earlier, like we're one of the worst teams in like third and short situations. And crazy part is like in the 30 short situations, what's the percentage that we actually run the ball more than we throw it? Most of the time we're dropping to it back and throwing the ball when we should be running it.
So this is the stat. Miami's 27th in the NFL on 3rd and 3 or shorter, 13 of 25, and they're 31st on 4th and 3 or shorter, they're 3 of 7.
With this caliber of offense and most are averaging like 6 yards a carry damn near every game, bro, we should not be that bad in those type of situations. It's ridiculous. Like I'm happy we won, but I'm mad at I'm kind of mad at this offense, especially Mike McDaniel, his play calling. It was frustrating. Like it somebody like when Tyreek went out too, Waddle started eating. When we scored with Achane, Waddle was the reason why we got down there. Waddle was cooking, and then as soon as Tyreek come back, we just stopped throwing the Waddle. We have to have more balance in this offense. It's crazy.
It is.
And then I just want to say one more thing too.
Yeah, go ahead.
Remember when they told us Jalen Ramsey was washed and he wasn't a good corner no more?
Mm-hmm.
Just keep that in your mind. Jalen Ramsey's washed apparently. Amen.
Yeah,
watching a Hall of Famer. We're watching a Hall of Famer. That's what we're watching.
It's true. It's true. Todd, you're up, man. Oh, sorry, Fin fan for life. You're up, man, and then Todd, you're up.
Hey, Reason, what's up, man? Dude, that game was like way more stressful than it should have been, to be honest.
Agree.
Like,
I agree.
I mean, my take, I've heard, the other people talk, and most of it, I agree with most of what they're saying. At the end of the day, Waddle ate. Tua looked like Tua, but we looked like we did against the Chiefs, but we played an inferior opponent, so we were able to beat them. We have to stop those mistakes at the end of the day, bro. Like, we can't do that nonsense. Like, that pick Tua throw was, like, so uncharacteristic. Like, what the heck, bro? Like, I almost thought the safety ran the route, and he was trying to hit him. Like...
Yeah, look, there's hold on. You got feedback. I don't know if you have me in the background, so I'll just mute you while I respond. I don't know if you're playing it in the background, but if you're playing YouTube, just shut it down. But it looked like if I remember correctly, it looked like Waddle was like running like a deep dig, and he threw like a corner, and that's why. And then Waddle tried to adjust to it, and then he got picked off.
Yeah, dude, it was just ugly, bro. Like in those fumbles, I mean. If we could just click one game on all cylinders on defense and on offense, gosh, this team would be scary, bro. Like
I think Tua might have thought that was he probably was thinking that was Tyreek, bro. Because Tyreek normally outruns that safety.
Yeah, he threw that, but
I mean?
I said that too while I was live. I was like, he threw it like he's throwing it to Tyreek. Like,
Yeah.
It's not like Waddle's slow though. Come on. I mean,
Yeah, but he ain't tired. But hey, listen, I'm not saying he's slow, but we clearly know there's levels to this. Nobody is like Tyreek. He's completely unique.
Trust me, I almost had a stroke when I saw him go into the locker room in the second quarter, bro. Like, freaked me out, bro. Like, I just don't want our whole entire offense to run through him, though, bro. Like, I want to see other people, like Waddle, and I don't know what's going on with Achane at this point, but. I mean, other people eat. Mostert's steady, but he's not Achane.
Yeah.
So, hey, real quick, did anybody hear anything like an update on Achane?
He was on the sideline. I mean, walking around.
Because I didn't hear anything else.
You're on mute.
Sorry, Todd, you're up. You go ahead, Todd. I'll look for it. I'll find an answer because he was standing on the side.
I am sick of complaining. I am so sick of complaining about the same thing every week, though. The 3rd and 1, you got to get to the point where you are running the ball. We got a fullback for a reason. You know, you have to take your chances with running the ball every now and then. 3rd and 1. They know. Even when we went under center on that one, he goes and rolls out with the on the play action. I'm like, run the ball. That's the one thing that's getting me aggravated is watching this. It's every week. It's the same thing.
Can I pose a real quick, Todd, in regards to the short yardage issue?
Yeah.
That generally is a reflection of a finesse team. And I'm not saying I don't want to use the term soft or, weak or anything like that, because I don't think any football players you can label them as being soft.
Agreed.
But that's a reflection of a finesse football team. And we all know, again, I'm looking more.
They're having in Buffalo. They're not committing to the run. And when they do commit to the run, look what James Cook does. But look at what Devin Singletary is doing in Houston. They would never commit to Devin Singletary. It was never a Devin Singletary problem. Like, honestly, thank God we didn't get Jonathan Taylor. You know how much more frustrated we'd be on 3rd and 1?
Oh my God!
I don't have any hair left. I look like Stone Cold Steve Austin right now.
But I don't get it. But again, Raheem Mostert is running harder than any running back in the goddamn National Football League. Physicality is not an issue with the personnel.
We had one game. I forget what game it was, but I think it was the game before Achane got hurt. Or it was the game Achane got hurt because he got hurt late. It was one of those games. He was averaging like 13 yards a carry or 11 yards a carry, sorry. Mostert was averaging over 7 yards a carry, and we had 3rd and 1 situations and a 4th and 1 situation. We threw the football.
I know, bro. That, again,
I literally
reflection of
my takeaways, and after I said, what do these running backs need to do to earn that trust on 3rd down when they're both at one's averaging over 5 yards a carry, the other one's averaging over a 1st down a carry, and you won't give the ball to either one? And Achane might be a little bit tinier, but he's fearless and he's quick running through those gaps. He makes himself nimble and small, hits them quick, and he's a good gap runner for a smaller guy too.
I would agree. I would agree.
And Mostert's been dropping his shoulder all year running.
Bro, I mean, he's been one of the more physical backs in the fucking league, bro. And I'm like, and again, I'm just addressing the short yardage issue. Like, nobody's running behind their pads more consistently than fucking Raheem Mostert. Nobody. I'm like, bro, I don't understand why you just want to turn the ball off and give it to your guy.
Yeah, man, what's the point in having a fullback if we're not going to use him as a lead blocker?
Yeah, I would agree 100%, 110%. Again, this is the evolution of Mike McDaniel that definitely – see, McDaniel don't have the luxury of again, second-year guy, and again, he has to learn his way. But to a massive degree, he don't have that luxury of a normal developmental cycle of a head coach. No, expectations have been staring us in the face for 2 fucking years. You got to get this shit figured out. And again, you can't necessarily give him a pass either. You got fucking Darrell Bevell sitting on the goddamn sideline. You got Frank Smith sitting on the goddamn sideline, bro. No, you got a wealth of experience to where if you're, again, if you can't figure it out, that's why you bring in people like those individuals to, again, try to steer you along the way of things that you might not be as consistent based off, the status of you being a head coach, just being a second year, you being as a head coach. So, nah, bro, I'm not, listen, Super Bowl, listen, we all know what the aspirations are. Oh, yeah. Expectations have been staring us in the face for 2 years now. He's got to get this shit figured out sooner rather than later.
British Fin fan, let's get your thoughts, and then Xavier will get your thoughts. British Fin fan, you're up, buddy. Let's hear what's on your mind.
Yeah, I thought it was again another example of not being able to put the consistency on both sides of the ball. One side of the team is showing up every week, and then the other one's not quite there. So agree with what you guys said about the play calling is a little bit frustrating at times. We're all sat here shouting left, and McDaniel goes right, and it's like we were all like scratching his heads and stuff. we've got the running game in the short yardage situation. And I think it's just about when you've got these teams down, you've got to pin them down. You've got to turn the screw, and you've got to keep, put them out of sight. And we just let the Raiders linger with the turnovers. And it's a game that should never have been that close, really, if it weren't for the turnovers. I think if we'd have, took care of the ball and some of the play calling was a little bit more, situational for what it was, then I think that game would have been a comfortable victory. But we just let him hang around. And boy, Jalen Ramsey, though, what a star he is, and so great to see him back to full health and making plays and shutting down their best receivers. But yeah, we kind of got away with one today, didn't we? But a win's a win. But I agree with what the guys on the panel are saying. We moving forward, we need to be. McDaniel's got to learn some lessons from these situations. When you've got the teams, you can put the teams away by just calling the right plays and just taking advantage of the moments and the short yardage situations and getting first downs and chewing the clock and seeing games out, finishing games, and I think once you start to do that, then we really will be like considered a Super Bowl contender. But if we don't and we keep making the same mistakes, then it'll be likely one and done. So we've got lots of ponder going forward, but happy to get the victory.
Xavier, what's on your mind?
Man, everybody's pretty much hit the nail on the head with pretty much everything being said. Love what I've seen from Jalen Ramsey coming, making two like this is like his third week in between. He was very crucial to what the success was of our defense going out there executing X's and O's and things of that nature. I did not, okay, one and two things I could say about today's offensive game plan. I mean, we could get hung up a lot on the basic style of what Mike McDaniels was keeping the playbook kind of limited today, as far as the creativity with the plays go. But overall, still got the job done. Fans for the win. But ultimately, Mike has got to start digging deeper into this offensive playbook, because I know they have deeper plays, and it's just like it's frustrating to see time and time again. It's like, dude, like the plays you were calling here today were some of the same plays I seen in the Chiefs game. I was like, this has got to stop. It is what it is, but we'll take the dub, and moving forward, hopefully, we can get a little bit more, and thank goodness that was a scare with Devon Achane too, but I was like, thank goodness he was still operating. So,
So I want to ask a question. I want to pose a question, and I guess we'll just free fire it. Anyway, everyone can just take off from each other. What do you think about what was posed during my live stream today by the chat? Are we getting to a position where you've got Darrell Bevell in the building? He's called plays before. Frank Smith never called plays before. Are we getting to a position where you're more comfortable with McDaniel maybe designing and Bevell calling?
It's real interesting. I don't know how it could work. Just having another experienced play caller.
Because if Frank Smith, listen, because here's the thing: if Frank Smith gets a job this offseason, Darrell Bevell is going to get promoted to our offensive coordinator, and he could say, "I want to call plays."
I give him a shot, man. Why not? The worst that can happen be worse than Mike McDaniels, which I don't think that will happen. Like, I don't think Mike McDaniels is even really that bad. Like, at times he do got stuff he need to correct, but let's not make it seem like, Darrell Bevell probably wouldn't run similar play concepts as Mike McDaniels. I mean, we all watched the Super Bowl when he didn't hand the ball to Marshawn Lynch.
Yeah, but I already talked about that during the live reaction. If you think they didn't hand the ball off, I'll tell you why they didn't hand the ball off to Marshawn, because they didn't want him to get MVP.
Yeah, MVP.
They wanted Russell Wilson, the poster boy, to be the MVP. Remember Marshawn leading up to that week would do the interviews saying, "I'm over here with the NFL." Buddy, listen, I'm not trying to be the Alex Jones of the community here, But the fix, hey, we also at one point, if you would have said, hey, Flores is sabotaging Tua, we all would have said you were crazy. So it's not like it don't happen. You know what I mean? So,
yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Hey, I agree on that one.
I'm just saying on that. You know what I mean? So
It's funny you bring that up because Shannon did ask him that on the Club Shay Shay podcast about that specific moment in time. Marshawn Lynch was like they were deferring between, as far as the blame goes, between Pete Carroll and the rest of the staff on whose fault it actually was.
no, because
That's
honestly,
hilarious.
that feels like Pete Carroll did step in because Russell was his boy, right? If you remember, did you also listen to that Marshawn Lynch thing where Pete Carroll, remember the part where Pete Carroll told them, you can't talk to Russell, talk to me, don't talk to Russell? Like, what kind of nonsense was going on?
Yeah, it's an open door policy.
Ridiculous, man. Bro, running backs are going down today, eh? Like, I don't know if you guys saw it earlier, but Aaron Jones got carted off and Kenneth Walker went off today. So, anyways, EM, I want to hear your thoughts on that. What are your thoughts on that? Because you talked about Darrell Bevell too, right?
Oh, I'm sorry. What was that reason? Did you cut?
What would you think about the fact of? Okay, I mean, let's use next year as an example. Frank Smith gets a job somewhere else. Okay, Darrell Bevell gets promoted. Would you be more comfortable with him being the play caller while McDaniel play designs?
Well, listen, I'm not willing to go there yet because at the end of the day, yeah, there are inconsistencies from McDaniel, but at the end of the day, we're still, top, in the upper 1 percentile of virtually every category, right? Offensively. So I'm not willing to go there yet, but listen, he just got to figure it out, bro. But again, that's why you have Darrell Bevels, your Frank Smith, to lean. And again, I don't know if he's doing that or not. I don't know if he is, to what level, to what degree. But it's just repetitive, the same inconsistencies when and like in a lot of those pressurized moments, right? And again, that's a reflection of youth in terms of you being in the position that you're in, bro, like inexperience. But again, Mike McDaniel don't have that luxury, which is why you bring in established guys like Frank Smith, like Darrell Bevell, to kind of lean on if you are a little queasy about a play call in a situation when it could be a momentum shifting play, good or bad. That's why you have to lean on him. That's why you bring in even Vic Fangio. He can lean on, he can offer a good perspective from a defensive standpoint in those moments, right? So I'm not willing to go there yet, but at the same time, McDaniel's got to, based off the talent level, that everything you have at your disposal, you have got to figure this out, bro. You have to. There ain't no way around it.
Yeah. Lewis, what's going on, man? Sorry, go ahead, British.
I was going to say it's not obviously a personnel issue, is it? It's the actual situation and the calls that they're making for, throwing on 3rd and 1 instead of running it up the gut and stuff like that. So we have the personnel, but it's just putting
we don't even switch it up. Like we don't even attempt to keep them guessing on 3rd and 1 and 4th and 1. We don't even attempt. We're drop back.
Like that, real quick before you kind of you go to Lewis. That play where it was 4th and 1 when they were lined up, it was the goal when they were on the goal line, and 4th and 1, obviously. That play looked like either an alert or a run pass option. The way based off the alignment and based off what's that?
Are you talking about the screen to Tyreek?
It could have been a screen, but again, that's why I'm posing a question. Did it look like an alert to you? Because So yeah. I was gonna do that as well. So in particular, that particular play, that could have been a situation. Again, it could have been. I could be wrong, but that looked more like it didn't look like it was just lined up and it looked like a design screen. It looked like more of an alert to me. Now I could be wrong, but the film will confirm that or deny that. But I don't know. I just throwing that out there.
Yeah, I didn't. I just, it looked like a bubble screen to me, but I didn't like break the play down or anything. I'll go back and watch. All 22 will tell us everything. Lewis, what's on your mind, buddy?
Hey, what's good, Reason? What's good, everybody? Yeah, real quick, I guess the first assessments just coming out of the game. I think we have a legit defense on our hands. I think the trend has shown us now that this defense is going to be for real. And when I just look at it, this offense, it's not clicking right now, but at the end of the day, it's still a top 10 offense. And when you combine a top 10 defense, I think today we were 12th coming into the game. We're about to hit this thing that we've never had in the Dolphin community before, organization. Top 10 in both categories, offense and defense. But I'll be honest, I'm listening to all the, great conversation so far about, McDaniel and play calling. Yeah, in certain situations, I would agree. But I would love to see the film breakdown from, obviously, you, Reason, when you do it. There's several others that I watch. And even myself when I look at the film. It just seems like there's meat on the bones that we're leaving. At that point, I can't put that on Coach McDaniel. It's more about the players executing. And
Are you talking about the Craycraft play?
The Craycraft play is one reason. Absolutely.
I think the only reason why he didn't make that throw is because he was flushed out and on the move.
Right. and I get it, but again, those are just when I look at it, right? And I believe that Tua should definitely be in the MVP conversation, but. Again, me and EM have talked about this kind of, when we talk on the phone or whatever. In those moments, you have to make those kind of plays, bro. Like, again, the expectation, this is not Tua in 2020, 2021 Tua, where the expectations were a little bit different. This is MVP talk Tua and Super Bowl contending team Miami Dolphins, right? So, again, I am I worried? No, I'm happy. We're 7-3, obviously first place of the AFC East. But the fact of the matter is this defense is clicking. We got to get this offense kind of rolling. And I get what everybody's saying. For me, it's 50-50, right? McDaniel, yeah, he has to get better. And we can see, or if Darryl Bevel should call plays or Frank Smith, we could have those debates. But at some point, bro, the players just have to execute. When there's plays to be made, I don't care if it's off script, on schedule, whatever it is, they just have to make plays. You see what I'm saying? And that's just my assessment.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, I said it while we were live. We've seen him, not the corner route, but we've seen him make hard throws on the move like that, like the Tyreek Hill throw early in the season when he stepped up, moved up into the pocket, and on the throw, he bombed it up the right side to Tyreek Hill. Was that the Chargers game? I think it was. Right. Late in the game. I mean, we've seen him make the throws. It's just, I get what you're saying. You want to see him a little bit more consistent. But I mean, as far as execution, execution is a and I know you don't mean him, but man, execution, shit, that's been from coaching to the field on the offense right now. It feels like it's gone from
absolutely
like a sweet humming in rhythm, just well-oiled machine to now there's like, jams in the cogs of the wheel that we're trying to pull out here. And I know we talked about it earlier. Yeah, it comes down to his adjustments, and we would talk about it all season. We couldn't wait to see what his counters for the counters were. And we just haven't been overly impressed. And it's come down to play calling, and it's also come down to player execution, like Lewis alluded to. It's weird because early on when the defense wasn't clicking, what was the issue? People were blaming Fangio, and I was sitting here saying, no, it's coming down to player execution 100%. Right now.
Absolutely.
Now you're getting, okay, a little bit of coaching. I'll put the majority of that Kansas City blame, but now we're, a couple games into this sputtering offense, and, a lot of it's coming down to execution, from the quarterback to the players in front of him, really. I mean, and shout out to the execution today from Lester Cotton and Liam Eichenberg, because Tua was flushed, but they didn't have him getting hit. And I mean,
right.
Did you see his release time at one point was after 2 quarters, his release time was 1.91 seconds.
Yeah.
Which does show it was affecting the play some, though.
Yeah. That's ridiculous.
And you make a good point there, Reason, because it can't have helped. The team can't have been helped by the inconsistency of having a different player on the line every week because somebody goes down injured. So we've never had that consistent continuity on the offensive line. You know, like the Eagles get, you know that they're going to play the same guys every week, but we've had Armstead out, we've had Hunt go out, we've had Connor Williams go out. And so you're into your backups who really you only want in like 4-quarter blowout situations. And so, you know, to have an inconsistency, revolving door sort of thing going on the offensive line has probably held us back a little bit as well.
Martin, what's going on, brother? What's on your mind?
Martin, what's good, homie? Salute.
What's up, BM? What's up, BM, man? What's up, fellas? Yeah, ugly win. Ugly. Ugh. Hideous. But it's still a dub. It's still a dub. It's still a dub. It's still a dub. And the Raiders were coming in on a little hot streak as well with the new coaching staff as far as the coaching change with Antonio Pierce. So I expected them to play inspired football. But it was more so us shooting ourselves in
again. Yeah. You there, Martin?
Is that me? Oh, okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you were going in and out, Martin.
You cut out.
Yeah, my bad, man. You know how it is, man. My internet real dial up out here, man. But
you got the Josh internet.
I got the cheapest of the cheap right now, man. Hey, but nah, man. I'm just I don't know if anybody already said it up here before I got up here, but someone tell Tua to take that damn do-rag off because he just pissing me off every time I see him.
Someone in this chat called him Prison Tua.
Hey, man.
That damn,
hey, man, stop hating on that, man.
Do-rag,
Y'all need to stop that nonsense.
I told you.
Hey,
I bet you it comes off because of his performance. I bet you he takes it off.
Hey, man, unloosen them braids, take off that do-rag and start balling, bro. Because he played poorly today. He did.
Yeah. It's crazy, though, but when you look at the stat line, his stat
line
good.
Is
better than his play today. It's better than his play today. That interception, I got to watch y'all 22 because that looked like Waddle was running like a dig and Tua through a corner. That's what it looked like.
And reason what it looked like was Tua. It's almost like how you're supposed to throw a corner route. It's either supposed to be high or you're supposed to flatten out the receiver like a deep out. And the way Waddle was running, Tua shouldn't have thrown it to the high post. It should have been a flattened out dig. So it was like a miss on Tua. Like it felt like, you know. So that was on him when you saw that throw.
But I even think just the process of that play, bro. Like, why would you risk that? That's a low percentage throw. You had double coverage. You had a quarterback trailing underneath, and you had one over the top. You got to question the process of that. Why he processed the play and why he decided
look at the throw he made where he move Diablo. But because he moved Diablo, he drew Spillane into the throwing lane.
Right.
That was almost picked off. Yeah.
He moved one, but because he moved one guy, he moved the other guy into the lane because he followed guys, and then boom, like he.
And again, that window. I mean, that window is just for him to complete that ball, bro. And that window, and we've seen Tua, make a living at putting balls where he shouldn't be, making plays and putting balls in windows that no other human being on earth should be attempting, right? Yeah. But again,
he uses with machismo, like
and that's that arm arrogance that I forget which announcer had kind of dropped that nugget. Well, he kind of said that on a telecast a couple weeks ago where Tua is so confident, which is a good thing, which he was where he should be.
On the all 22, right, Martin?
He's so confident. Yeah, he's so confident with his arm that he can fit it in fucking like virtually any window.
Yeah.
But again, Tua has to know, and again, especially in the moments, right? And again, this is normal shit from a player playing that position. You got to know when to, you got to find that common ground of when you need to be ultra aggressive, and then when you need to dial it back, you need to be a little more conservative, bro. Take a higher percentage option.
Well, I think that's what the problem was Lewis was alluding to earlier. You just kind of nailed it, I think. The Craycraft thing, because he was flushed out and on the move, I think he was looking to take the sticks. He wasn't looking to take the big throw in case something bad happened. So you got the problem where you want to see him be aggressive, but he's being conservative. And then we got other times where we want him to be conservative, but he's being
Right.
overly aggressive
Right,
hit.
Right.
You
right.
gotta
Yeah.
find that
Yep.
Right.
balance a little bit more. And
Right.
it's coming down to
Yeah.
the arm cockiness right now. That's what it's coming down to.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end, excuse me, at the end of the day, it should always boil down to, if you have a choice, just read the defense and make the right throw. That's
Look
really
at-
where it should
Look
always
at,
boil
I
down.
pointed it out on our show and I put it on Twitter. Remember,
Mhm.
what was it, the game before the Chiefs game where he missed the Claypool streak?
Correct. Yes, he
Right?
did. Yeah.
Because you're right, because he was being conservative and he read
Yeah.
the right side high to low because he knew based off the blitzer he had coming off that he'd have something there. And
Yeah.
instead of sitting back and trusting and waiting on the protection to pick up the blitz, he was conservative and he missed the Claypool streak, but he still got yards like he did on that throw,
Right.
I think. He got 7 yards underneath to Wilson, but it's another time where trust the protection, let it
Mhm.
develop, and you make the throw, right? Like,
Mm.
the thing is
and we
when we're scheming, whether it's not trusting our offensive line or whatever the case it is, when we're scheming him to get the ball out quick, we're also creating that clock, that internal
You're
clock.
speeding it up, and we
Yeah.
talked about that private. We
Yeah,
just
you're
talked. We just
creating
had
a
that
habit.
conversation.
Yeah, you're creating a habit.
And again,
Yep.
it's another double-edged sword, right? Quarterbacks are, you want your quarterback to throw with timing and to be able to consistently anticipate, but you got to find that common ground, especially when in those pressurized moments. I think Tua tends to be a little more problematic for Tua. And again, fourth-year guy, developmental. He's still developing as a player. I know a lot of people don't like to hear that, but he's still in his fourth year, right? So again, Tua, he just needs to develop that and be consistent when to distinguish, right? When the clock needs to be sped up, or when there needs to be a delay with that internal clock.
Mm. And I guess Mike McDaniel has to play a role in this as well.
Yeah, it comes down to coaching.
When it comes to what you have to know and see when a player needs to be dialed back some,
and Bevel,
and then create
too.
And Bevel too. Exactly. Yeah. But we're in a good space, man. 7-3. I can't complain about that.
We're beauty. And
I
listen,
mean, you
can I
can't
say
ask
this?
anymore where we're at right now.
Can I
But
say this?
Oh,
I'm getting
right.
my wish. I'm getting my wish, aren't I? I said I don't want to start clicking on both sides of the football till week 14. Keep eking out these wins until we get there. I want to start
Figure it out.
week 14, week 15, and ride that into the playoffs in any sport, basketball, hockey,
100%,
whatever you want.
That's a good point.
Right?
That's a good
100%.
point.
Like here in hockey, playoffs start in April. You want your team to start hitting its stride in March. You don't want you hitting stride in January, February, because a lot can happen between then and the playoffs.
Right.
Yeah. And Jalen Ramsey.
The Bengals were 5-4 heading into their bye week 10 last year. They came out and went 7-0 with a no contest after the bye. They wrote it to the AFC Championship. Burrow wasn't even in the MVP conversation with going into their bye. End of the season, he's in the MVP convo.
Right. That's fair. Look, and what I keep seeing with Jalen Ramsey lately, he's playing like his life is on the line, bro. I don't know what's going on with Jalen, but that dude.
It feels like we're seeing two halves of the season. Sorry, I got to continue my thought here because they're just rapid fire at me. It feels like we're seeing two halves of the season. It feels like the first half of the season, our offense was clicking in the well-oiled machine, and now the script is flipped. So what's the natural progression? They're both going to flip on at one time. It's going to happen.
Balancing
It's
the
a matter
scales,
of when.
isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a matter of when. Because listen, we all know this guy's OCD. Me and EM, and I'm sure Martin and Lewis were expecting this too, all expected McDaniel to have a counter for when these guys were countering, when these defenses started countering them. We haven't really seen it yet. I think this shit. You want me? I think this shit's going to keep him up at night. And we're going to figure this out by the end of the season. And the dangerous thing for other teams is our defense has figured it out. When this offense gets back to figuring it out,
it's a wrap.
We automatically become the most dangerous team in the NFL.
Yeah,
100%.
We pretty much left 13 points. We left 13 points on the field today too.
Minus special teams. That's where teams can still get us. We can't swing the field with Jake Bailey. Okay, I don't know what to tell. I was watching.
He's inconsistent.
I was watching AJ. inconsistent, bro. I
Yeah.
waited 11 games for 2 kicks to pin another team inside the 10-yard line. Anyways, bro, AJ Cole, I'm watching this guy. He's kicking from their own 13 and pinning us inside our 13. What?
Legatron.
Nah, the Raiders got
Listen, he got
some
cleared.
kickers,
You need to call
Yeah.
Matariza, bro. He got cleared of all that crap. You need to call that man and see.
Oh, yeah.
Thomas Morstead was light years better than what, and they let him walk for this.
Yeah.
And then obviously Sanders
Yeah.
missing kicks again as well.
Because, gentlemen, you can't afford giving away good field position, let alone these turnovers and such. You can't afford that in the playoffs, man. No. But you can't have the Chiefs, the Bills, and all these other. Well, I don't know if the Bills are going to make it, but you get where I'm saying. Those offenses who can put up points, you can't have them starting at their own 40 regularly when you punt. They only got to go 30 yards to get points.
Agreed.
And Jason Sanders, gentlemen, fire Danny Crossman, blow up the special teams unit. I'm sorry. It needs. I don't know how this guy has lasted through 2 purges with the special teams unit he's fielded the past couple of years. All right.
He's got like top. I might be wrong here, reason, but he's paid as one of the top kickers as well. I think Sanders, isn't he? He's going to be a top 10 paid kicker, and he's just not good.
We paid him. Yeah, we paid him. Mm-hmm.
Bro, did you hear that? Today was the first field goal he's hit beyond 50 this season.
Mm-hmm.
Wait,
That's
11
incredible
weeks for this guy to hit something from beyond 50, and he's had like 3 or 4 other tries.
That's incredible.
Bro, the guy's a jabroni. I don't know what else to say. We should have moved off. I know we couldn't financially. That was the problem why we couldn't move off of him last offseason, right? Because financially his contract, right? I think that's the issue.
Hit. But trust me, reason the defense. I mean, they're catching on like a mug, bro. Edge rushers, linebackers.
Thank God.
Jalen
look like a top 5 tandem. They look like a top 5 tandem right now.
Jalen literally looks like an all-pro.
And Raekwon's starting to get that push a little bit more.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
hey, bro. As long as they're stopping the run, like we've seen the last 3-4 weeks, this defense is going to continue to ascend and get better because it's going to be when the more you limit teams on first and second down and force them in third and long more consistently, there's more opportunities for big plays like we saw today. So I think it couldn't come at a better time for this team because obviously we got things we have to work out offensively. So, but
which is crazy to say.
I know, right? We're still top 3 in virtually every category, but we have kinks and things we need to work out. Yeah, but that's where we are. That's the reality of the situation. But I'm confident. Again, I'm not there yet, and I'm not saying blow it up, fire anybody, take play calling duties from anyone. No, it's just you got to figure these things out. And again, maybe this level of expectation would not be as heightened as it is with McDaniel if we weren't in a year where ultimately the expectation is reaching a Super Bowl. Maybe it would be different. Now. But he's in a tough spot, bro. He's in a tough situation. It's a very good spot to be in. A lot of coaches will sell their daughters into human trafficking, right? To be in that position, to have these coaching staff and personnel available to them. But at the end of the day, there's expectations that come with that, bro. So it is what it is.
Yeah. We're gonna see how it unfolds, man, at the end of the day. But I still like what I saw from the team aspect against a Raiders team that not a lot of people are giving too much credit as far as them coming together. Yeah. You know, I like that.
They also had the rushing champion from last season as well. I mean, Jacobs, and we've kept him quiet today.
He's been good this year too. Let's go through some final thoughts. Joe, I want you to stick around when we go to the backstage for a sec. British Fin fan, let's go with your final thoughts. We'll start with you.
Yeah, I think whether you agree or not, I think the buys probably took a little bit too much out of them. They've come out a little bit flat, a little bit, certainly on offense anyway. Fortunately, the defense played phenomenally well. Ramsey was awesome. Phillips was awesome. Chubb had another good game. Kadeko, who was making plays.
Siler was good too.
Yeah, getting a good rush up front. So, defense played well. Obviously, got to take better care of the ball on offense. Can't leave teams hanging around when got to put these teams away when you clearly the better team. You've got to put these teams away. You know, put your foot on the throat and just see these games out. A little bit more care coming out of for the second half as well, because I think it's the second time where we've come out where we've got the ball second half and we want to impose ourselves, and we've had a turnover. I think it was Mostert against the Patriots, and then obviously Tua throws the pick in this game. So a little bit more, savviness, and just make sure that you're imposing yourself on the other team and be dominant, because we've got the players to be dominant. We just need to put it together on both sides of the ball. Now we've got a very tough defense coming up in the Jets on Black Friday. Watching them now, they're getting to Josh Allen all the time. The only reason
the problem is their
Jets
offense
can't,
is just getting destroyed right now by the defense.
Yeah. Zach Wilson is just absolute garbage. That's the only reason that they probably beat the Bills. So we've got to be aware of that. We're coming up against defense that's probably as
really good
as ours. So we've got to get in the film room. We've got to clean some things up.
Cup just went off limping right now.
Yeah, so. and be better on offense, and hopefully we can put things together. But like Sarah, it's a marathon, not a sprint. So let's just take little strides forward and hope that we hit form just at the right time when playoff time comes around. Fins up.
Joe, you're up, buddy. Go ahead.
All right, thank you. I'd rather see a defensive win. If this was like a week one offensive showdown, I wouldn't have been happy with that at all. I'd be like, oh my God, our defense degressed. This is, to me, the natural progression of the team. And, we still got 300 something yards. I mean, our stats are going to look great out of this. That said, the play calling was bad. I think we'll all take away something, including the coach, that coaching and play calling has to be better just all the way around on that. And I think part of the press conferences we're going to see from McDaniel is he's going to say exactly that. He's going to say the play calling was terrible and I have to do better.
Mm-hmm. He said today that in regards to Achane, he said he kind of got landed on. It was a little bit painful. He was politicking, trying to come back in the game, but I was a little worried with the rust. Martin, let's go your final thoughts. And I want to pose this to you and EM with your final thoughts. Did you feel the linebackers, they didn't have a bad game, but they weren't a necessity today because that front was just cleaning up so well?
I would think so. Yeah, the front four for us is actually playing at the level that we expected them to play from week one, but they finally caught up to each other in cohesion. They respect each other's lanes, their pass rush lanes. They do their part, and I mean, whether it be run or pass, there's always a sense of these guys are getting it done. So I love what I saw from the defensive line, but it's still good to have Long Jr. and Bake kind of cleaning other things up as well along the perimeter. So it doesn't hurt at all. But let me tell you, in this game, we literally left at least 17 points on the field from self-inflicted wounds that needs to be cleaned up. And that should be the main focus moving forward. Clean up things that are controllable. All things in your direct control, you already know what time it is. Fix it. And then when you can fix it, then you can start gauging how good you can actually be. But those self-inflicted wounds, the fumbles, the interception on Tua, and obviously you're going to throw picks, but that one was an egregious interception if you ask me, as far as what was in front of him, So there's things to clean up, and I think they will do it. And this is the best time to do it because we're going up against a defense in the Jets that they can't wait for you to screw up. So we can't let that happen. So let's see what happens moving forward.
EM, your final thoughts, buddy.
Yeah, bro. Hey, man. Hey, always a pleasure reason when we can get up on a panel, bro, and dialogue and engage. Always good to be home. It always feels good to be home, right? So with that being said, shout out to everybody that are always pulling up and showing reason support, because we all know the phenomenal job that he does with the platform, and how he keeps us all up to speed on everything Dolphin related topics and everything. So shout out to you people that have always shown him love or whatnot. But, you know, at the end of the day, bro, it's a win. We're 7-3 reason. You know, we can't really listen. We can sit here and I think it's, you know, if we're going to be responsible evaluators, because in essence we are, right? We watch football, then we get up on these panels via YouTube or Twitter or the internet in general, and we express our opinion. So again, based off our evaluation of what transpired. So if we're going to be responsible evaluators, you know, we're 7-3. You can't, from a wins and loss standpoint, you really can't ask for more than that at this point in the season. But at the end of the day, we can all, at the same time, we can all be responsible and just kind of publicly or privately document some things that we're seeing, good or bad. So that's where we are, and that's what the purpose. That I think that's the theme of this post-game show. We're happy, we're elated to be 7-3, but at the end of the day, we can acknowledge it and kind of highlight things that we need to get better at. And again, I still have the utmost of confidence in the team, right? Overall, offense, defense, coaching staff, etc., that they will get and work through this period, that we're going through offensively, to where we can be in a situation, to your point, by week 14 reason, to where we can be truly complementary, the offense as well as defense. And if we achieve that, if we get to that level, again, it's over. Over for the rest of the National Football League. So with that being said, and to your point about the D-line, absolutely. They've been dominant, right? They've been absolutely dominant. And, run game, pass rush, and again, that's the job, like you said, we necessarily didn't have to rely on the linebacker so much. But again, this is the area, this is where you want to be defensively. You want that D-line penetrating. You want that D-line consistently being that first wall of defense, to where you're keeping your linebackers clean, where they can consistently process and respond to the play, right? Whether that be run or pass. You're seeing that level of consistency. You heard kind of Vic Fangio allude to the inconsistencies that we saw early on. You heard him allude to that, him as well as Mike McDaniel. But now, kudos to that defense, to that front, the defense as a whole, right? That they're starting to develop that consistency, and we're seeing the results of it. They look like one of the more dominant units in the league right now. Hopefully they can springboard off that and continue to get better, use that as motivation as we get deeper, further along into the season, and ultimately the postseason. So, man, it couldn't come at a better time for the team, now with the struggles and the stagnation that we've seen offensively. So with all that being said, man, kudos to that unit. Mike McDaniel, Tua, etc., they'll get it done. And to your point, Reason, I hope that comes to fruition by week 14. We're operating at all cylinders, because I want to reiterate, if that happens, it's OVA, gentlemen. OVA, over for the rest of the league. So fins up, baby, all day, every day. Y'all know what it is. Salute.
All right, everyone. Well, I hope you enjoy the rest of your night, the rest of football. I'm going to be back tomorrow night for a recap. We'll talk everything Dolphins tomorrow as well. Me and Martin will be live on Tuesday. Man, we're going to have to hammer this thing out, Martin, because that first episode of Hard Knocks starts on Tuesday as well. So,
okay.
We got to hammer this out. We got 40 plays to get through with Tua. So,
really? It's Hard Knocks is Tuesday. Wow.
Yeah, 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern.
I can't wait, though, to be honest with you. I can't wait.
Yeah. So we might move it up from 7:45 to 7:30, so we could try and be done by 9 p.m. So we can all buckle down, get our popcorn, and watch Hard Knocks. All right. So we will see all of you guys tomorrow night. Until next time, you are no
salute. Y'all be safe out there.
Every day. Smash that like button. Subscribe if you're new. Appreciate y'all. Fins up.
Peace.